Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the press. I'm here presenting the appeal to the Electoral Committee for KGU Electoral Union on behalf of the General Assembly. To begin with, I would like to share my personal details. I'm William Abdurashid. I'm a finalist for Master's Program at the University of Cuba, doing an MBA in Strategic Management. I would like to present this appeal to the Office of the Chairperson Mafirwa Akongagak, Chairperson of the Electoral Committee for KGU Graduate Union, Cuba. Subject formal petition challenging the procedural validity and enforcement of the amended constitution for KGU 2024. We, the undersigned members of KGU Graduate Union, hereby submit this formal petition challenging the legality, procedural validity, and enforceability of the purported amended constitution 2024. Our petition is grounded on the principles of constitutional supremacy, procedural compliance, natural justice, and members' rights as enshrined in the KGU Constitution 2020 Article 9.1. We respectfully submit the following legal concerns to the Office of KGU Electoral Committee. 1. Non-compliance with initial procedures, ultra-virus action. There is no documentary evidence demonstrating that the constitutional amendment process was initiated in accordance with Article 40B of the KGU Constitution 2020. Specifically, there is no written complaint or formal proposal submitted to the Secretary for Legal and Constitutional Affairs as required under Article 40B of the KGU Constitution 2020. There is no verified record demonstrating that a Constitution Review Committee was formally constituted and approved by the General Assembly of the KGU. Any amendment undertaken without complying with this mandatory procedure is ultra-virus and therefore void ab initio. Point number 2 is quorum and two-thirds majority decision. Article 40A of KGU Constitution 2020 explicitly requires that any constitutional amendment shall be passed by a two-thirds majority at a duly convened General Assembly meeting. There is no verifiable evidence that such a threshold was achieved. In the absence of proof of quorum, such as an authenticated attendance register, certified minutes of the General Assembly meeting, and voting records demonstrate attainment of the required two-thirds threshold, the proceeding and any resolution arising therefrom are legally effective. Failure to meet this constitutional requirement renders the purported amended constitution invalid and unenforceable. Number 3, ballot ratification. Article 40D of the Constitution, KGU 2020, further requires signature by the chairperson prior to implementation of the amendment. But it has been noticed that the amended Constitution 2024 was not signed into law in front of the General Assembly or Executive Members Committee. If done, evidence of the picture taken, the date and gathering during the signing shall be provided in case it needs further legal proceedings. And for 4, violation of transparency and members' right to information. The claim amended Constitution 2024 was not circulated to the General Assembly members in a timely manner for them to read through the official communication platform of KGU. The failure to publish and disseminate the amendment for over 1 year constitutes a breach of transparency, accountability, and members' participatory rights. Number 5, discriminatory provision contrary to equality principle as substantive concern arising from the amended Constitution 2024. Articles 16(1)(f) and (g) of the amended Constitution impose eligibility restrictions that exclude diploma, PhD holders, and require bachelor's degree holders to have graduated at least 2 years prior to the election's days. These provisions are discriminatory in nature, unreasonable, and inconsistent with the principles of equality and inclusivity. They are contradictory to the established practice within KGU, including the 2022 elections, where a bright graduate was permitted to contest. While under Article 7 of the Constitution 2020, membership is extended broadly to graduates meeting prescribed conditions. The introduction of restrictive eligibility criteria raises the constitutional question whether such limitations were lawfully introduced in a strict compliance with Article 40, where procedural compliance is uncertain, substantive restriction affecting political participation must be approached with caution. Number 6, ambiguity in the definition of graduate. The amended constitution fails to provide a clear and precise definition of graduate, leading to arbitrary interpretation and exclusion of diploma and PhD holders. According to international standards, the word graduate is defined as somebody who has complete academic requirement for the award of diploma, bachelor degree, master's degree, and PhD. Constitutional provision must be certain and ambiguous to prevent discriminatory application. Number 7, the requirement for a graduate to pay subscription fees covering the previous 6 months period raised concern. In case where an individual graduated only 1 or 2 months ago, it would be unreasonable to require payment for months prior to their graduation. Further, this provision is not clearly stipulated or expressly defined in the bylaws. We therefore urge the Electoral Committee to comply and accept our recommendation as follows. In order to safeguard the credibility, fairness, and transparency of elections, ongoing and forthcoming elections, we respectively request the Electoral Committee to 1. Suspend the implementation of the amended KGU Constitution 2024. Pending proper legal review and ratification, the amended constitution should be suspended to prevent infringement of members' political and participatory rights. 2. EC to use the Quite Graduate Union Constitution 2020 to help Electoral Committee members execute their credible mandate in an inclusive and accountable manner. In conclusion, we submit this petition in good faith and in the interest of upholding constitutional order, rule of law, and the unity of Quite Graduate Union. We respectfully urge the Electoral Committee to address the above concerns prior to final determination of the candidate eligibility to prevent avoidable disagreements and safeguard the credibility of the ongoing elections of Quite Graduate Union. Yours respectfully, submitted by members of Quite KGU, members and signature petitions attached. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Most of what we are going to say have been detailed by the petitions, and by the fact that this is a graduate unions and it is professional organizations, basically for the graduates, academic graduates, and therefore, if you are to define what graduates, it would actually include those excluded to participate in the elections. And by the fact that there are no organization whereby you are there not to enjoy other rights, but you will be there as a member. I don't think it is anywhere in the world, because organization is whereby we see ourselves, where we see ourselves in it, and we have right to be voted and we have right to vote. And therefore, it is our call and prayers to the Electoral Committee to consider what we have written. And by the fact that also that the only organs in the graduate union constitutions is General Assembly that can overturn the constitution or can amend the constitution and even dissolve the graduate union as an entity. And therefore, it is our call that EC members can come to their senses to hear and correctly answer our prayers as far the petition is concerned. And we are calling other members who have not also signed, diaspora, and those who are not here in Juba, so that they actually come out with that opinion in regard to what we are calling, because the constitution is meant to govern us. But the constitution whereby we see ourselves being discriminated in it is not a constitution, but it is, we call it an elite constitution, because it is not being amended in a good faith, and it is not being passed by the majority of the members, and therefore we in future we need to avoid such behavior of amending constitution without the knowledge of majority. I thank the media and all our supporters who have signed this petition. Thank you.
Thank you.